Hello, Virgo. Welcome to Taurus season. This is a general reading for Virgo. Sun, moon, and rising. We all have Virgo in our charts. We all have a sixth house and we all have Mercury placements. So if you know your chart, you can listen for any Virgo associated placements. And if you are just beginning your astrology journey, always listen or read your horoscopes for your rising sign first, and then tune in with your sun and your moon. Remember that this is a general reading, so not everything is for everyone. Take what works and leave the rest. We are going to be tuning in today with the span of time between April 19th and May 20th. This is Taurus season in 2025. And I'm excited for Taurus season for you, Virgo, because Taurus is your friend. It is your fellow earth sign. And it lives in a part of your chart that is so important. This is a place where you are connected to your highest self, your guiding principles, your deepest wisdom. This is a place of profound personal, spiritual, and life growth. This is also a place of challenge where you are really met with the challenge of your own manifestation, your own becoming. And as we move into this season, I'm really feeling how hard a lot of you have been working to show up for this in your life and in your energy. Um, you might even reflect back to 2018, the last 7 years that the outer planet Uranus has been in Taurus, and consider for yourself in these last 7 years, what has been happening when it comes to you really feeling into your own sense of path and purpose, um, guiding principles, life philosophies, showing up for the work that you know that's yours to do. And that showing up is not always easy. And especially for the earth signs and especially for Virgo, I think that some major themes of these last 7 years or so have had to do with you being able to locate, listen to, and honor your body and your bodily intelligence, your somatic intelligence. And that can be wildly less glamorous and dramatic than some of the words that I've already used, like personal philosophies and life path and your highest truth and things like that. Um, a lot of that kind of information may have actually come through as you dealt with the limitations of being in a human body on planet Earth. That could include aging, illness, um, basic time, energy, and capacity limitations, how you are able to listen to your own needs. And when I say listen, I don't mean that that information is coming through for you from a podcast that your body made for you speaking English. Um, I mean, there's some kind of somatic sensate awareness that you are able to resonate with internally and make sense out of. Even that phrase, right? That you have been able to be sensible, coming into your senses or coming back to your senses, I think has been a major project since 2018. And over this period of time, there has also been a proliferation of embodiment practices. So I definitely talk about this in your 2025 year ahead reading. If you want more information, you can tune in there. If you've followed me for some time, you've definitely heard me talk about this, probably on multiple podcasts. But since 2018 with Uranus and Taurus, there has been a lot of expansion and growth in the realms and the worlds of somatic practices and embodied awareness. And I think that this is really one of the most radical, liberatory kinds of things that we can do. We live at a time in a world where there has been so much investment in shutting down our sensate awareness and intelligence. We literally have been taken out of our senses. And currently, there is a really concerted effort to keep people from feeling things, right? To keep us in a state of trauma, in that state of trauma, to not be able to hear and listen and sense what our bodies are telling us, because our bodies are wise, they are direct, they are really straightforward, and they don't fall for the same kinds of manipulation that our minds do. Our minds are very flexible, mischievous kinds of things, and they can go all kinds of places and tell all kinds of stories. And our minds and our egos can really take us pretty far away from our sense ability. But when we tune in with our bodies, sometimes we know things that are really different than what our minds are trying to tell us and what the news is trying to tell us or what politicians are trying to tell us or something like that. When we tune in with our bodies, sometimes we get information that feels pretty challenging to actually work with because it might be completely antithetical to, everything that we thought we were trying to do and society's trying to do and stuff like that. But Virgo, if you have found your way to this horoscope and you are still listening, you are a person that has heard the call to come back to your senses and to deepen your sensibility. And in this way, you are making sense to yourself, I think, in some really new and different ways. And that's the feeling that I have as I'm kind of tuning in with your chart for Taurus season, is how far you've come. And the level of honesty now that you have and that you need to have with your own body, because that is your guide. When you feel something and you know that it's true, you have to listen to it. And this season, this is the last year for like 80 something years that the outer planet Uranus will be in Taurus. So it's the last season that the sun will make the conjunction with Uranus. And so there is a kind of completion that's happening this season. And I feel that many of you are about to turn the chapter in a major way in your life. Over the next 7 years, a lot of you are needing to take this kind of capacity that you have now to listen to yourself and apply it in your life and in the world in ways that are actually kind of disruptive, that set you apart from others in some ways. You might be already feeling this, the need to do things differently. You might want to shake up what you've been working on for a long time. Some of you have instincts to do things with your life that feel a little bit risky, or that feel like you're the odd one out. You don't see other people doing things like this, or you feel a longing to feel that way. And what is going to guide you through this next phase in your life is the ability to really tune in and to trust what you feel and to follow your feelings. Okay. So if any of that resonates, Virgo, this is the reading for you. If this is the reading for you, please let me know that you like it. Comment, subscribe, share these horoscopes with your friends. Please help me continue to make these free offerings. And let's take a moment before we explore the astrology more and get into timing to let the astrology speak to our bodies a little bit. Astrology is an ancient language. It has accompanied humankind since the dawn of civilization and probably before. It is a really powerful and yet also incredibly simple template. And it begins with night and day, in breath, out breath. Some things happen at night, other things happen during the day. Seasons have an effect on our life cycles. Astrology is a language that connects us with the cosmos and with the earth and helps us to navigate timing, terrestrial and celestial timing. This language is deeply embodied inherently. It was not always complicated math and delineation rules. It started probably with people going, oh, it's day, it's night, or whatever the language was at that time, right? It's like basic. So all of the astrological symbols speak to our bodies. They all live in our bodies. Taurus governs the jaw, the throat, the tongue, the upper shoulders, and the mechanisms, the physical mechanisms that create the resonance of your voice. Virgo governs the intestines and the digestion, assimilation, absorption capacities that our bodies have. They're both earth signs, and earth is what makes our bodies. Everything we eat and drink becomes our tissues. And then, of course, our bodies constantly are giving back to the earth. And Taurus and Virgo collaborate on this in their energetic principles. So, first, what I want to invite you to do is just take some easy breaths into your body and notice if there is tension that you're holding in either of these places. And so that could be in your jaw or in your gut. These are places in our bodies that love to hold tension for us. They often do a great job holding on to our tension. And if you find some gripping, some tension, some holding in either of those places, I'm giving you permission to let it go. Okay, so relax your jaw. You can even like make some faces, stretch your mouth, stick out your tongue, let your belly hang out, breathe into your belly. Take some breaths. Let the exhales out. And my invitation to you is really simple. It's a really simple somatic practice. And the practice is to feel. The practice is just to feel. And so many places in our bodies are carrying so many ideas and so many stories, and there are so many ways that we might try to feel or things that we might be feeling. And right now, let's just keep it really, really simple. And let's just keep our awareness in these places where Taurus and Virgo govern in the body through astrological symbolism, your jaw, your tongue, your throat, and your gut. And ask to feel. Just ask to feel what's here. Okay, now I'm going to give you another prompt. And this is a prompt that I think a lot of you probably want to work with for longer than this horoscope. So if it resonates for you, come back to it later. The prompt is to consider a direction that you are currently deciding about. And I think a lot of you are deciding about some important directions when it comes to relationships, potentially when it comes to finances, and also with your life path. There are like, I want to say career for some of you, but also just like bigger than that. Life purpose, life path, who you're trying to be right now. So if anything sparked for you and you are aware of some kind of decision you're trying to make, some direction you're trying to figure out how to go, tune in with your jaw and tune in with your gut and your belly and ask to feel. What are you feeling here? Could be information, could be caution or concern, could be clarity, could be some inner truth. Just ask to feel. If you have a clear decision that you're trying to balance, you're like, should I go that way or that way? You might think about these different directions and then ask to feel what happens in your gut, what happens in your jaw. Now, if one direction feels like it's more tight in your jaw or your gut than another direction, I am going to propose to you that the path that has more ease and relaxation in your body is the path that's right for you. Okay, so I'm going to leave that there for now. That is a somatic meditation and exploration that you could come back to if you want, if it feels helpful for you. And then I'm going to say that, again, this place where Taurus lives for the Virgo solar charts, it's called the ninth house. This is a place where you connect with your guiding principles. This is your like highest self, personal philosophy. This is also where you connect to deep truths, teachers, teachings. This is a place where astrology lives in the chart. It's like wisdom is here. You are a Virgo. You are an earth sign. Taurus is an earth sign. So what this tells me is that when you are trying to connect to your deepest truth and your guiding principles and your highest life philosophies, the way you get there is through matter. It's through earth. It's through body. And especially in 2025, we have so many things. I'm not going to list them all out. We have so many things happening in Taurus season that to me feel like imperatives for you to orient within. You have to turn the volume down on everybody else's opinions right now. And if there are guides, teachers, other people's philosophies that you feel are helpful, you have to measure them against the intelligence of your own body to know if they are helpful for you or how they're helpful and when. When you are clenched in your gut and your jaw, your body is in a state of some kind of arousal pattern that has to do with fear. There's something that doesn't feel safe. Now, we live in constant stress in 2025 on planet Earth. There are so many reasons to not feel safe. So if your jaw and your gut are constantly clenched, let me just tell you that is normal. Okay, so I'm not trying to say, every single moment is a moment of lack of safety or something like that. But there is a lot of conditioning that is about like scarcity mindset and fear and anxiety and worry and competition and all this stuff. So part of how I think it could be helpful for you to make your decisions, and I'll get into some of the decisions in a minute, because I know you're trying to make them right now, or it's like you're trying to listen to your own best guidance. A big way that you can attune to your best guidance right now is by noticing what it does to your body when you think about going in that direction. And in order to attune to your body, you might need to prepare your body to give you good information. So if you're like, oh my gosh, Renee, my jaw is always clenched, my gut is always tight. First, I want to say, I feel you, I hear you. Second, I want to say, shake it out, stretch your jaw out, take some deep belly breaths. Every Monday, I teach a class on Zoom, and you can always get the recording if you can't attend live. It is called Somatic Space, and we work with the astrology of the week ahead to tune in with our bodies. And we do practices that are all about inner listening and centering and relaxation and, sense ability. So if you feel like it would be supportive to have some community and some guidance, check that out. As I've already said, this era of Uranus and Taurus has been a proliferation of embodiment, intelligence, and somatic practices. So there are a gazillion ways that you can get support if it feels new to you. Or if it's not new to you and you just want to be facilitated a little bit and have someone else kind of hold a container. Please do what you need to do to get your mind-body alignment flowing so that you can listen to the deep intelligence that lives within you. Because you already know, Virgo, you already know. I don't know what you're trying to figure out, but I know that you already know. Now, you might not know that you already know. And especially if you're listening to this in the first week or so of Taurus season, as we approach the new moon, which is on April 27th, you might not know that you already know. Because that is a week where there are a lot of things kind of in flux. And I think you already know. And I think a lot of you are like, I already know. So I don't know what it is that you have been trying to see the way through on, but over the last couple of months, I'm going to say even since late last year or the beginning of 2025, a lot of you have been in some kind of really like dynamic shifting in your life. And I feel that you are changing deeply as a person, and how you want to be in relationships in general in the world is changing. So this feels like how you put yourself out in the world. It feels like for some of you it's your presentation, it's your look, but for a lot of you it's more like, what do you expect from other people? The way that I put myself out when I'm feeling insecure is very different than the way that I put myself out when I'm feeling confident. And I have different expectations from people. If I'm feeling insecure, I have an expectation people aren't going to like me. And so then I have to work really, really hard to get them to like me. If I'm feeling confident, I don't care, and I have an expectation that people will be people. And I'm kind of more relaxed and maybe like I have a better time or something like that. So the feeling that I have for you is that your expectations of other people and the kind of space that you can take up in relationships is shifting. And especially this year, right? So far this year, a lot of you have been letting go of things left and right. A lot of you are just like, you are just dropping your ideas about certain relationships, certain people. This could be in general where you're just like, I don't want to think this about myself in space anymore. Like, I'm not going to walk into a space and expect that people will like me or dislike me. I don't care, what so and so is saying about me today. Some of you, there's particular relationships where you are either done with the relationship or you are done with the way of relating and you want the relationship to evolve. There have been major truths coming forward for you. These feel really deep. They feel like soul level truths about what you want and what you need. um, Major truths coming through about your values and what is valuable to you. And this means then how you're spending your resources, how you're using your resources. So if what is valuable to you is travel, and you've been spending all your money on furniture to not go anywhere and feel comfortable at home, and then you're like, you know, I don't really want to stay at home. I want to travel. Then you're having an aha moment. You're going, I have to shift the way that I'm using my resources. And resources definitely include your money, but it also deeply includes your presence and your attention. Where you put your attention grows. And there's like this major feeling in your chart right now that you are having some aha moments about what you've been putting your attention towards. And if you don't want something to grow, if that's not the thing that you are trying to cultivate, and you're realizing that all of your attention has been going there, you're like having some moments right now where you're like, oh, the only person who can change this actually is me. I need to make the choice to put my attention elsewhere. Some of you are in relationships where it doesn't feel that simple, and you're like, ah, I don't want to buy furniture anymore. I want to travel. And you're living with people who don't want to travel and they want a new couch. Whatever, make the meaning that's meaningful for you. It's a metaphor. If that's the situation, then you're needing to have important conversations. And this is true for all kinds of relationships. It's not just people you live with, it's not just life partners or spouses. This definitely is happening in your workplaces, and it's definitely happening in any kinds of relationships where you have to continue to come back together for any kind of reason. So if there is any ongoing commitment, if there's any kind of shared responsibility or labor, if there are any shared resources, right? Like maybe you, I don't know, maybe you're part of a neighborhood, right? Where it's like homeowners association, like you share something with other people, you don't even know them really, they're not your friends, but you have to deal with them in some way. Those are the situations where a lot of you are just, it's like you need to either like break ties, clarify boundaries, be upfront, divest, shift the investment. You are being guided in some way. And if you don't listen to what you actually want and what you're trying to get right now, what's going to happen to you, Virgo, is that you're going to be so uptight. Your jaw is going to get tight. Your guts are going to be all clenched up. You're going to do the thing that Virgo does when it's not happy, which is get fucking nitpicky and neurotic and anxious and everything is wrong and you're hypersensitive and you know how it goes, Virgo. But Virgo, you are here to be brilliant and you don't need to be that nitpicky neurotic Virgo, You have your moments, but a lot of you are like letting go of that because you are figuring out how to be integrated, honest, courageous in your sense of power and not wound up or bound up doing things or being ways that are not actually right for you. And this is not happening just now in Taurus season. This is actually a long process that you have been in. And we could even go all the way back to 2018 or even further back than that. Let's go all the way back to 2008 as a period of time where I'm going to say you have been claiming your life energy. You have been taking your life energy back. And in 2025, you have to take it. I think you know this. I think a lot of you have this feeling of if I don't do it for myself, it's not going to get done. If I want this, I have to get it. So yes, okay. We move into the month of May and you have a lot of power. You have a lot of power in the month of May. You have power to listen to your guidance, to say no where you feel no, to say yes where you feel yes. You have power to transform a lot right now. There are a lot of ways where the things that used to scare you, you're like, it's still scary, but fuck it. I'm going to take it because I have what I need to transmute that fear and turn it into power. And that's what you're doing. A lot of you, it's like the ways that you have been enmeshed and entangled because of fear. I'm going to say it's fear. It could be fear of loss. It could be fear of doing something wrong. It could be fear of harm. It could be fear of whatever. You're not afraid right now. Hallelujah. You are not afraid right now. And you are using this courage to restructure your life in some kind of way. Okay, so if you're resonating with this, this is your reading. If you're not resonating with this, maybe it's not for you. But if you're not resonating, I'm going to say, why? Take up your life, Virgo. This is your life. It is time to do the things that you actually really want. It's time for you to have the relationships that you want. It's time for you to be the person that you want. It's time for you to do the work that you want to do. It's time for you to live in the places that you want to live. In whatever capacity you can make the choices for yourself that you want, you have to do it right now. I know that the world is on fire. Maybe we're going to be in a global war. Who knows what the economy is doing? Totally insane people are running the show. Oh, well, we're not going to help the world get to where we want it to be by being afraid of it. This is the time to really make it happen. Okay? The full moon on May 12th through the end of Taurus season, May 20th, that span of a week to 8 days or so, that is a really powerful span of time. And in this span of time, I'm going to say that you are really clear. You have a lot of strong thoughts coming through. Your thoughts, it's like you can cut through the noise in certain ways. It's like you see where you're hung up, you see where the opportunities are, you are anchored, you are oriented, you are making steps to move that way. The last piece of advice I'm going to give to you is that if you have outstanding debts, something about that is coming up for me. And economic debt is not actually what I'm talking about right now. It's there, like as a possibility, but the feeling that I have is that this is actually relational debt. Economic debt is a mutation. It is a corruption, actually, of the sacred contract of debt. Debt is the need to repay and repair where we have been directly responsible for some kind of harm, or where we didn't show up in the way that we needed to show up, or where we took what was not freely given. Economic debt has been created by capitalists to exploit people and keep them trapped. Some of you, maybe this is about economic debt, but I feel like what this is about is like relational debt. It's soul debt. There's like something in this space of like you feel something lingering in a relational space, and maybe someone needs to deal with a debt that they owe to you, or maybe you need to do that with them. And I don't know if this is exactly the right language, but it's like there's something in an in-between space relationally. It could be an apology that needs to be made. It could be a gesture. It could be some accountability. I don't know what it is. But it does feel like some of you have something that wants to get clarified and mended and attended to. This could even be with someone who has passed into spirit. Maybe there's a prayer that needs to be made. You want to put their picture on your altar. There's an apology that you want to send into the ethers, or they're sending something to you that way. Take what works, leave the rest. The feeling that I have is that you want to be clear in your relationships. You want to let go of your grievances. You don't want to carry around like weird, mucky stuff with people. And so if there's anything that has been like kind of gnawing at you a little bit, this message might not be for everybody, but if there's anything that has been kind of like, rubbing at you the wrong way, by the end of Taurus season, I think you want to do something about it. Or if it's somebody else, they need to do something about it. And in any kind of capacity that you have to put down the grievances, to repay the debt, to receive somebody else's apology or accountability, to like let something go so that the relational field can be more liberated, that's the feeling that I have. So that message isn't for everybody, but if it's for you, you know what I'm talking about. Tune in with it in a way that is meaningful for you. And I'm going to suggest again that you tune in with your body and your bodily intelligence around what needs to happen, and that you follow that. Okay? Okay. So on that note, I want to invite you on April 27th, which is the new moon in Taurus, to join me at Embodied Astrology for a conversation I'm going to be having with Care. Care uses their one name like Prince. Care is a somatic therapist, a community organizer, an artist, someone who works with astrology, and a lot of their work has to do with somatic processes of relational accountability. Working through breakups, working through makeups, working with equity, working with community, and being really embodied about it. Accessing our somatic intelligence, utilizing our somatic tools, cultivating somatic resonance so that our relationships can be more harmonious and beautiful, and we can take better care of ourselves and others. I feel that a lot of you would really enjoy and appreciate this conversation, and I hope that you will join us for it. You know, it's on Zoom. Recordings are available. If you can't attend live, you can find more information in the show notes. And you can also find more information about what embodied astrology is and does. We are a lot more than a podcast and horoscopes. We are first and foremost a community learning space, and we do a lot of generative kinds of things with astrology. It is an emergent strategy. We are looking at activism. We're looking at art. We're looking at relationships. We are taking care of our bodies. We're taking care of our families. We are thinking about the past. We're thinking about the future. And it is a place where we're really engaging with astrology in ways that are experimental, that are playful, that are innovative, that are not about me or anybody else telling anybody else what astrology is, but all of us together feeling into these symbolisms, resonances, and schematics, and cultivating collective intelligence through them. And if that sounds interesting to you, come hang out with us sometime. If this horoscope benefits you, please like, share, and subscribe. The number one way you can help me continue to create these free offerings is by giving back in some way. The best way to do that is to share. So if somebody out there needs a horoscope, send one their way. You can make a one-time or recurring donation, and everything is in the show notes below. Virgo, I'm wishing you all the best in Taurus season and beyond. Bye for now.